Welcome to Embrace Your Inner Boldness, the podcast dedicated to empowering you to live confidently, embracing all parts of who you truly are. I'm Melissa Henning-Frank, and I'm the founder, success coach, and consultant of Becoming Bold, LLC, and you can count on me to be your guide on this incredible journey of self-discovery and transformation. Let's get right to it. What if the stuckness you're feeling isn't a sign that you've failed? What if it's an invitation to listen deeper? What if the confusion you're in isn't confusion at all, but clarity you haven't given yourself permission to claim? Welcome back to Embrace Your Inner Boldness. I'm so glad you're here, especially if today's episode feels a little too real. We're talking about those moments when you feel frozen in place. Not because you're lazy and not because you're ungrateful, but because part of you knows that something needs to shift and the rest of you is scared to admit it. This is for you if you're in a job that looks good on paper, but your soul feels restless. Or if you're in a relationship where you feel safe but not fully seen. Or maybe your life is technically fine, but you keep asking, is this really it? Let's talk about what to do when you're stuck in the middle and how to move forward without betraying who you really are. Let's confront the things we don't talk about so we can stop playing small. Being stuck doesn't mean you're always miserable. Sometimes it means that life is functional, but just maybe not fulfilling. It means you've built something that works, but it no longer fits who you're becoming, and you feel stuck. Choosing to change feels a little bit risky, maybe even selfish or impossible. Here's a few reasons why people get stuck. The fear of letting others down, especially if you've always been the one who holds the peace. Overthinking every scenario until you talk yourself out of taking action. Learning to value logic and approval more than your own inner voice. Waiting for a lightning bolt sign that never comes. I've coached people and I've been that person who quietly tells herself, I should just be grateful. This isn't that bad. Maybe I'm expecting too much. But hear me now. You can feel gratitude and still want more. You can care deeply about someone and still realize that the relationship no longer aligns. You can be good at your job and still feel like it's slowly draining your fire. The voice that says you're selfish for wanting something different isn't your intuition. It's old programming that taught you to shrink in order to be loved. Here's some signs that a shift is already in motion. You catch yourself daydreaming about a different life, and it feels like relief, not escape. You feel more irritated or numb than inspired or energized. Your body is carrying the weight through anxiety, brain fog, or physical fatigue. You whisper things to yourself like, there has to be more than this, and you mean it. These are not random thoughts, they're invitations. You don't need your whole life to blow up before you're allowed to move. I'm going to give you 7 ways to navigate that fog and find your way forward. Number 1, make quiet space to hear yourself. Take a walk, sit with a journal, turn down the podcast or the scrolling. The answers usually show up when the noise quiets. Number 2, start with what you do know. You might not have a 5-year plan, but you probably know one thing that you're tired of tolerating, so start there. You could even set what I like to call a due date, where you decide today that if you're still feeling this way in 3 months, 6 months, or a year from now, you'll take action toward a new path. And then set that date in your calendar reminders and stick to it. Always keep your promises to yourself. Number 3, write 2 versions of your life. Write one where nothing changes, and then write another one where you actually honor that whisper inside of you. And then think about and notice which version, which story makes your shoulders drop and kind of makes you want to tuck away. Which version feels like home? Which one feels aligned? Number 4, say the truth out loud. Talk to someone safe. Put it in your journal. Talk to yourself in the mirror. Truth gets stronger when it's spoken. Number 5, Stop asking people who don't live your life to approve your choices. You carry the cost of staying stuck. They don't. Number 6, take one brave action. Book the call, update the resume, research the program, look into the move. You don't have to leap. You just need to take one small right step. Number 7, remind yourself that you're not confused. Maybe you're being called to something higher. You feel this way because something more honest is trying to surface. And that's not failing, that's awakening. Here's what I believe with my whole heart, because I've been there and I've done that. You were not made for a life that almost fits. If something deep in you is stirring, you're not losing your mind. You're waking up to who you've always been. Some people won't understand. They might judge, they might question, they might even pull away. But you were not created to be a mirror of other people's expectations. You are here to become you, truly you, free, freely you. And if you're standing in that uncomfortable in-between right now, hear this. You already know what to do. It's okay to trust yourself. You don't owe anyone a perfectly explained reason for honoring your inner voice. You don't. If this episode spoke to something deep in you, I'd love to hear from you. Share it with someone who's also wrestling with a hard decision. And if you want support while you step into the next version of your life, watch for the new Becoming Bold Bootcamp or join the next Women Becoming Bold cohort. You'll find the links in the show notes or at the link in my bio. You are not alone. You are not behind. And you're more powerful than your fear wants you to believe. Until next time, keep choosing you, even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable. Also, please be kind to your mind. That's it for today's episode of Embrace Your Inner Boldness. If this stirred something in you, don't let it fade. Screenshot this episode, tag me at Becoming Bold LLC, and share it with someone else who's ready to rise. And hey, if you haven't already, take a second to subscribe, rate, and review the show. That's how we spread the boldness and keep this movement growing. Whatever came up for you today, feel the fear and do it anyway. You don't need to wait for perfect timing or permission. You are powerful. You are ready. And remember, the only limit to your boldness is the one you set for yourself. Until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and keep becoming you.